Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So today we're thrifting in a value village, and this was special because I had never been to this value village before. It was quite a bit smaller than the two that I usually shop at, but it was quite nice being in a new store, and I did notice that the prices were a little bit cheaper than what I'm used to. And I think it's because we were a little bit closer to like a metro area, I guess. Because we had to drive about 2 hours from home to get to this place. But there was this value village, and then my last video, the Salvation Army store. So we figured it would be worth making the drive. So if you missed that, my last video was the Salvation Army, which was a really big store as well. And I actually was able to film a Christmas thrift with me in that store, which I'll probably post that next maybe, or maybe the next video. But it was very exciting. So this is just a few days after Halloween, so they still had some Halloween stuff kind of on the end cap, but they did have some Christmas things out already. And I found a vintage Christmas thing that I'm so excited about, and it was so cheap too. These were the Boo Buckets from this year, which I think kind of look pretty lame. I feel like McDonald's doesn't understand why they were so nostalgic, because they look nothing like the, ones from the 80s when we were kids. I thought these bears were going to have that kind of stuffing where it's almost like little tiny styrofoam balls, but it was just regular stuffing, but they looked like they were of that age. I remember my aunt having a bunch of stuffed animals that had that kind of stuffing inside. So now we're starting to get into Christmas. I was actually surprised how much Christmas they had out already, because like I said, it was only maybe 2 or 3 days after Halloween, but I was excited, and I think I'm gonna try to get back to this one before Christmas. So in a few weeks, I'm sure they'll have like a big Christmas section. I was at the same day I stopped at the one that I usually go to, and they didn't have their Christmas stuff out, but they had all the shelving put in place for their Christmas stuff, so very exciting. So I'm so excited that this caught my eye, because if you noticed I picked up this plate a few minutes ago, but I didn't notice that underneath was this package of vintage wrapping paper, which I'm so surprised I didn't notice it when I picked the plate up, but I can't believe that it was only $2.99 as well for all of that. So I definitely had to get that, and at the end of the video I take it out of the package and show you what it looks like. We used to have this exact piece probably about 10 years ago. I had totally forgot about it really until I seen it, and it looked so familiar. Like, oh right. But I think I donated it a long time ago. I love looking through the bagged items, especially Christmas stuff, but it's really hard to film and look through them at the same time. But my only gripe about it is I find a lot of the times, at least at Value Village, they tend to put things that are breakable in the bags, and then so there's a bunch of breakable stuff together, and then obviously just by looking at them, it's kind of easy for people to be banging them around. So there's been a number of occasions where I found something that I liked, but it was broken inside. So that's unfortunate. Once I found a bunch of old ornaments, actually, like old glass ornaments. I don't know why they put them in a bag like that, but I think only one survived because obviously they're super delicate, like even in a box. But it was unfortunate. I didn't see anything today in here, but this used to be where I would find my best finds. Like all of my best ornaments, I feel like came from these bags, and I used to be able to find such good stuff so easily, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, but now it's rare to find something, but I still have to look because you never know. This is one of those wooden, usually it's a snake, but this one was like a crocodile or an alligator. I've only ever seen like snake ones, but creepy. I feel like seeing all these little glass jars together like this, probably used for a wedding maybe or some type of event, just because there's so many all together. I would imagine they were donated by the same person. I saw this set of ornaments on the bottom, and so I pulled it out and I noticed it was from Sears, and that's like such a throwback now because at least in Canada we don't have Sears anymore for quite a few years now, I think. But I love these shatterproof ornaments. I bought some similar, but they're different colors, but a lot of them are meant to look like old ornaments, like with the inverted part. So I put them on my tree and they kind of blend in nice with my actual vintage ornaments, because when you have cats, it's a good idea not to have glass ornaments. I do have a collection of glass ornaments though. I just never put them on my tree because I have cats, so someday I'll probably use them. Someday I actually want to get an aluminum tree, and then I figure I'll probably just put them on the aluminum tree, but not until I don't have any cats. I saw this Ritz tin, and whenever I see this, I'm reminded of Fred Astaire putting on the Ritz. And I'm pretty sure they might have used that in a Ritz commercial, maybe in the 80s. And maybe that's just a made-up memory, but it does remind me of that. I forget what movie he performed that in, but it's one of my favorites by him. This vintage condiment caddy caught my eye, so I thought I'd pull it out and have a better look at it. I did end up doing like a Google image search of it to see if it was worth picking up to resell, but I don't remember the name or anything now because this was over a week ago, but I didn't feel like it was worth picking up to resell at $12.99. But $12.99 probably isn't a bad price if you were gonna keep it for yourself, but I didn't want it for myself personally. And then I noticed these little canisters. I actually have this sugar one I found years ago, and I keep it with like my baking things. I keep all of my like frosting tips in it, but I didn't realize that there was other ones that went with it. These mugs actually came free, I think, with cases of beer, like probably 20-ish years ago. So I remember we had a whole bunch back then. And I laugh every time I see them in the thrift store because sometimes I see them for like $10 a piece when they were just a free mug. But I don't know. It's just funny that I guess people would call them vintage now since they're from like 2005, 2006. And then I noticed this punch box, this box with a punch bowl in it. And it's obviously old. I couldn't believe it was only $5.99. If I didn't already have one, I probably would have bought that one. But I bought a vintage one as well, still in the box, from Anchor Hawking. And I think it was like $20 that I paid for it. So the $5.99 surprised me. Maybe some of the glasses were missing. I don't know. I didn't open it up, but I would expect that at Value Village to be like $20, $25 easily. So I definitely did notice quite a bit of things were priced a little lower than I expected them to be. Just from thrifting so much, I almost can always guess what the price of something is going to be. But while I was in this store, everything was usually a couple dollars cheaper than what I expected it to be. So it's like, I guess maybe because you're closer to a more populated area. That would be my guess anyway. This isn't really my style, but I came across the most beautiful set of china, and I was thinking while I was looking at it, you don't really see that much china that's purple. I feel like it's a lot of like pink and red and yellow and blue even, but I don't really recall seeing much purple, and I just thought it was so pretty. And they had so many pieces there. I really hope that this found a home to love it. But it was funny, I mentioned like that I don't really ever see purple china and how pretty it was. In my last video, the Salvation Army store, which I actually went to after this store, I saw a set of purple china over there. So I can't remember if I mentioned it in that video or not, but this was the first stop we made of the day. So, but yeah, there was so many pieces. It even had the teapot back there. I was like, oh, I really hope this finds a loving home to love and use it. And I think it was like less than $50, and I think it was like 40 pieces, maybe. It was a lot of pieces, a lot of like unique pieces too. Like that was obviously a cake plate, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Just, it was really nice. I've been looking for just a plain napkin holder for so long, and ever since I was like, oh, I'm gonna start looking for that when I'm thrifting. Ever since I said that, I wasn't seeing any ever. So when I finally saw that one, I was like, I better grab that today. This is the style of beater that we had in my house and my grandma had at her house when I was growing up. So this is what I used to bake with and stuff when I was growing up, but I haven't seen or touched one in such a long time that made me feel all nostalgic. This air fryer really looked like it had been through some things. Like most appliances actually at thrift stores. I don't know. I feel like it's rare when you see one that's not. But they had so many of that style of air fryer, which takes up so much room. I did buy one. We bought one for my parents a long time ago, like kind of when they first came out. I think frying pans just come to die at thrift stores because I feel like I see no less than 50 to 100 every thrift store I go into. And I don't imagine the market is high for people buying used frying pans, but maybe. I'm not sure what this is, but it was unique and interesting looking. I think I mentioned in a recent video, I wish they would make like pretty pots and pan sets like they used to in the 70s and 80s. I also feel that way about like silverware sets. I wish they would. I never see them anyway. Maybe they do make them, but I don't know, with like cute patterns on them. Actually, I just love how much a pattern would be used in different ways. So, you know, if you liked the Merry Mushroom canisters, you could get curtains and a clock and just like so many different things, and so many different brands would use the same kind of motif. So you could just get all kinds of wonderful additions to your collection. I feel like you don't really see that much anymore. Alright, so I'll show you everything I got. So like I said, I ended up getting this napkin holder. I just wanted something plain. It's $3. When I looked at the bottom here, I noticed it just came from Walmart, but I still think $3 was great for this, so I don't regret it at all. I wasn't looking for something necessarily vintage. I got this Tony Bennett Christmas CD. I love getting Christmas CDs. Recently I just started collecting CDs again, so I got this Madonna CD. I used to have this when I was a kid. I think I had the cassette though back then, but I saw that and I thought, ooh, I'll get that. And then John actually found this, but he was like, oh, do you have this movie? And I didn't, so we got that. And then I also found the movie Desk Set, which is very funny because I turned on Turner Classic Movies the other day, and there was a movie playing that caught my attention right away. So I went to the guide and I saw that it was the movie called Desk Set. And at least on my TV, like you can record something even if it's already started. So I was like, oh, I'm going to record that so I can watch that movie. I'd never seen it before, but I love Katharine Hepburn. So it was funny that I found it on VHS just within a few days later. I still haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited to. And then, of course, I had to get this vintage wrapping paper. I'm so glad that I was taking kind of a second glance and I noticed it, because I didn't notice it at all when I picked that plate up that was right on top of them. So it's actually an insanely good price too. So we got this set of 3 boxes. This kind of gives me like maybe late 80s, maybe early 90s kind of a vibe. Whatever. I mean, I didn't even really care about these at all, but hey, it's fine. We'll probably use them. And then it had this pack from Hallmark. This kind of also gives me that late 80s feel, maybe early 90s. This is just the same pattern, like 2 separate sheets of it inside. But I mean, I like it. It's not like my favorite or anything. I wouldn't have cared if it was there or not. But this set of 16 pieces, like to get this for $2.50 would have been an amazing deal. Never mind the other stuff that came with it. But I'm so happy that this was on the top because it definitely caught my eye. So there's 4 different patterns. You get 4 sheets of each in there, and I just love them so much. I've actually got some of the same style wrapping paper sheets that are vintage from an antique store, and I think they were like $1.50 each. So it's pretty cool. I want to do something crafty with my vintage wrapping paper. I also loved this pattern so much. I don't know. I feel like vintage wrapping paper is like so whimsical and cute, and today's is just not. It doesn't have that same charm to it. So I don't know. So I could see the top one, but like I couldn't see these middle ones. This one is also so beautiful. Definitely like a different kind of a feel with the more pastel, but still so beautiful. But I'm excited that I have 4 sheets of each, because I could even like use a sheet to wrap a gift if I wanted. Although I don't know if I'd want to do that. I have just recently bought some like vintage inspired wrapping paper on the same day actually. And I also just love this one too. So cute. I'm so happy I found these, and I can't believe they were only $2.50, and like with that other stuff too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I was so excited to go to a new thrift store. Well, actually, we went to 2 different thrift stores. So I actually filmed like a little vlog on this day as well. So maybe I'll post that video next. But we went to this like mall too that I'd never been to before. All of the malls where we live are basically like abandoned malls, but this one was not that at all. So it was, like I said, closer to like a metro area. So yeah, we went there and we did some other thrifting too that I filmed, but I just put it in the vlog. So maybe I'll post that one next, and then I'll post the Christmas vlog. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a good weekend, and I'll see you again soon.